Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be bringing you another fun little transformation video. Today we're going to be adding another wall tree here in my entryway for a place for backpacks and coats and things like that when people come to visit, and for my kiddos. So if you're here for another fun little transformation, let's get started. To get started, Danny and I are outside cutting another piece of MDF. This is actually the same exact board we used in the kids' bathroom. I had purchased two of them, as a matter of fact, because I wasn't sure how much we were going to need, and we ended up only using one. So we had this other piece, and last minute we decided to just toss this up on the wall. We had a plan to have a wall tree by the entryway. We just weren't sure when we were going to do it, and we had some time on a Saturday, so we made it happen. It was gorgeous outside. It was our little fake spring for a day. It snowed a foot the next day, but it was nice to be outside pretending like it was going to be warm soon. But we're using a table saw and cutting the MDF. If you have not seen my video for the kids' bathroom, I would highly recommend that. I'll have it linked for you down in the description box. It talks more about MDF and what to choose when putting up a wall tree or putting up any kind of board and batten. And the great thing is it's super affordable. So this piece here only costs $12, and it's a really good size piece. I did say in the last video that it was ½ inch. It's actually, Danny said, a 1/4 inch. So now you know, if you were curious on how thick it is a 1/4 inch. But now he is attaching it to the wall. So this wall is just a little space, a little less than 4 feet, I think, right inside our front door, right outside of the laundry room. And instead of putting a coat rack, we decided to put some hooks on the wall. I thought, not only is it functional, but it looks really nice. And so we just cut 4 pieces of the MDF. Actually, I think we're using 5 pieces, if I remember correctly. I think we're doing 5 pieces. And the pieces were a little bit bent because they had been leaning against the wall in the garage, but it was no big deal. Once we got them on the wall, they were perfectly fine. Danny was just checking there to make sure he wasn't going to be nailing into any of the pipes for the washing machine right there. That would have been terrible. We decided this time that we wanted to keep it really simple across the top, so he is just cutting another piece here to fit across the top of the boards. Some people will put the top on and then put the middle pieces, but we did it the other way around. I don't know. I just kind of let Danny do his thing, and I'm just there to make sure that the camera is on him, to be honest. So here is Danny's math. It's showing you how big the actual wall was, which was 34 inches, and then he divided it by 3 battens because he knew I wanted 3 open spaces. If you didn't see my last video, batten is the wall, board is the MDF that's going on the wall. And our walls are plaster. I don't think I mentioned this in the last video. That's why I'm not putting any kind of MDF or plywood or anything on the actual wall. That's because ours are smooth, and so all I needed to do was paint them. And what he's doing now is just measuring the space in between each of the boards. And we went with 3 battens. We wanted 3 spaces in between, which left 4 boards, and I don't remember what the space was in between each one, maybe 11 inches. I'm not sure. He figured out all that math. Again, I was just there to be moral support, make sure the camera was on him, and he did all the measuring and all of that good stuff. He's got his measuring and serious face on. I always think it's so cute. Another thing that I want to point out about the way we do our board and batten is that we don't change the baseboards. We just put them on top of the baseboards. So they do stick out a tiny little bit. If that's going to bug you, take the baseboard off, put a thicker piece on. It does not bug me, especially because this is white and it's all just going to blend together. You're not even going to be able to tell, so it doesn't bug me whatsoever. We're just triple checking where the boards are now before he nails them in. You're going to use finishing nails. I talked about this in the last video. Finishing nails are just really small and they're easy to fill. So keeps it really simple. He's going to nail those in now, and then I will get to priming the wall while he had to run to the store to go get more caulk because our caulking gun busted and the caulk got all funky, so he had to go buy some more. So while he was doing that, I decided to do some quick priming of the wall. And yeah, the other thing that you don't see happening here is the sanding. Danny sanded everything before we put it on the wall. And the other thing too is the filling of the nails. We did not, I don't know how I didn't record that, but you definitely want to fill the nails. Something I discussed in the other video. You want to fill those in with wood filler before you paint. Right here, he's just putting this piece of 1x1 across for the trim to go across the top, just like a little picture ledge, and I was making sure that the hooks weren't going to get in the way. So he was just verifying that that was going to fit. He's going to trim it and get that on there, and then I will get the paint started. So I really didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on this project. I already had the MDF, I already had the hooks, and really we had all of the wood. The only thing I had to purchase was paint. I did not have a bright white paint to match our downstairs trim. And so I went to Abishan, which is a local, it's a local store. Hardware store, there it is, where you buy things like paint. And I originally had asked her for, you know, just a bright white in, you know, their Benjamin Moore paint, and she told me what to get, and she was like $32 for a quart. I was like, no. I think not. And so she showed me over to where things were a little bit more affordable, and I just picked up a Rust-Oleum paint. It's just a satin paint. It's plain white. I think it's just called white, and it was like $12. So that definitely was more of what I was looking to spend, considering I used the tiniest amount of paint. I tried to use that roller there. I don't know what's wrong. The roller was not working. So I'm just busting it out here with the trimming brush, which, okay, fine. It just took forever. I think I mentioned in my last video how much I enjoy painting, but it was all worth it in the end because it just looks so beautiful. Once Danny got back with the new caulking gun, I was able to step away from my misery of painting, and he did the caulking. So as I mentioned in the last video where we did some board and batten, you want to make sure that you're caulking all of the wood where it touches the wall. Honestly, listen, if you don't want to do this step, it is not going to be the end of the world. I'm sure your board and batten will look beautiful. However, it definitely gives it a more finished look if you use the caulking. I do not enjoy doing it. It hurts my finger. Like, you have to slide your finger across like Danny's doing now. It's definitely not an enjoyable task for this project, but it really does make a huge difference, and it just makes the wood look very seamless against the wall. And actually earlier this week, one of the MDFs had kind of separated because it did have that really terrible bend in the MDF from being out in the garage. So it kind of separated, and Danny had to go back in and recaulk it, and you could really tell what a difference it made. So if you have the time and you have the wherewithal to get this done, I highly, highly recommend not skipping this step. Now it's time to talk about the artwork that's going to go above this beautiful wall tree. This here is a piece of laser etched wood that says Charlotte Grove. It has our last name, and it says established in 2021. This was a gift, housewarming gift from Danny's best friend. Shout out to Dan. They've known each other since they were in high school. Dan is a great friend of ours, and he is known as very lovingly as Uncle Dan by our children. So really incredibly thoughtful gift, completely blew my mind. I cried like a baby when he gave it to us, and I wanted to make sure that we found a good spot for it. Originally, I wanted it to be like on the front of the house, but I couldn't figure out where to go. So here, this is where it's going. That face Danny just gave me is because I kept telling him it needs to come lower. I didn't want it to be centered on the wall. I wanted it to be nice and low so you could see it when you come in. I'm thinking about maybe trying to find some greenery or something to hang above it, but honestly, it just looks so gorgeous by itself that it really doesn't matter. It's such a wonderful piece, and we are going to cherish this for the rest of our lives. Okay, now that that's up, it's time to get to finalizing this paint. As you see, it's all patchy, definitely in need of a second coat. Danny got that roller working, so I enlisted some help this time. Cutest little help I ever could find. That is my son Ryan. He is 6 and still in that phase where he is eager to hang with mom anytime he can get, and he is so super helpful. So because we didn't have to be careful with the white because it was the same as the trim and everything, I enlisted his help and it was so perfect. He was so great. He was loving helping mama, and he definitely made my job a heck of a lot easier. He didn't stay as long as he needed to. He did quit on the job early, but I was happy to get any of the help I could. All right, so we gave this paint a good half hour to 45 minutes to dry. It dried really quickly, and then we came back with the hooks. These black hooks were actually purchased on Amazon. I do have them listed in my Amazon store, which the link is down below. And I would highly recommend these if you're interested in getting hooks for the wall or for the back of your doors. They're so pretty, and they just add that really pretty farmhouse charm. So we love them, and we were just kind of eyeballing. We didn't measure anything. I just kind of put them where I wanted them, and then Danny put them on. We knew we wanted 5 hooks. We have 5 kiddos, and like I said, we're going to be hanging backpacks here in the morning once they're ready to go, and it'll be a great little spot for people to hang their coats and their bags when they come visit. We had our neighbors over for dinner on Saturday night, and they all hung their coats here. It was really great. It's just a great little space. Not only is it really pretty, it just is really, really functional. So there's all 5 hooks on the wall. Finally, I just wanted to add this little piece of decor that is a galvanized tin vase. I don't know what we would call that. I can't think of the word right now, and then there's just some faux eucalyptus inside. And like I said, it just adds a touch of greenery. It looked really empty without it, and I just love the way this turned out. It looks so cozy, and it warms up this little space by the front door. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I'd love to have you come back and see more. And until the next video, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.